Part 19. They talk about a long-term cooperation. Leader Mo has a good way to govern the army, and he has the talent of a general. If he can come to the Red Robe Army, he will definitely be able to live up to his skills. I don't know. Ming Yu listened to the more and more wrong. The smile on his face became stiff. He still, as for the person who was thinking of digging up the Red Robe Army, he had not yet started to take action. It really makes no sense. Is this guy going to lose face? You even dug his corner in front of me, thinking he was a clay figurine? No, this is absolutely impossible. Ming Yu started to fry. We don't have the ability to commander. But talented people can shine anywhere. It doesn't have to go to the Red Robe Army to display their ambitions. General Xie. Do you think so? Ming Yu raised his eyebrows and interrupted Xie Yishou's words. If someone were to be dug out from under his own eyes, where would he put Ming Yu's face? Before Xie Yishou could speak, he heard Mo Zhang cupped his hands and said, General Xie is kind, and I take it from my heart. As the guard commander of His Royal Highness Prince Duan, I swear to follow the prince to the death. As soon as these words came out, Xie Yishou was a little regretful. He also knows that he is reckless. He is happy when he sees a hunter. And only when his heart is full of love will he speak his words regardless, but he also understands that everyone has their own ambitions and cannot be forced. But it seems that he should have a good relationship with this side. Fortunately, Prince Duan borrowed his manpower, and he agreed. Otherwise, he really couldn't find an excuse to come. Mo Zhang stood firmly on Ming Yu's side, which made Ming Yu very useful. He hooked the corner of his lips and rubbed his fingers against the jade wrench on his thumb. General Xia's men are all elite soldiers and strong generals, which makes this prince so envious. To tell the truth, this prince just arrived. And it was not easy to get a training camp to train this guard team, but there is not enough manpower. Now it is really hard for Commander Mo to take care of it here. Why don't General Xie send a few more people to help this prince share the burden? Xie Yishou glanced at him coldly. His voice did not fluctuate. Okay. Borrow 10 horses for one person for half a year. I'll go. Why don't you go grab it? Ming Yu frowned. Xie Yishou deserves to be the master of not seeing the rabbit but not the eagle. This business can kill people with a single stick. In his later generations, he has always been in a good position in the business field. Talking about simple things like buying and selling is almost easy to grasp. Now Xie Yishou can't get it right, making him almost angry like a puffer fish. Ming Yu's cheeks were puffed up, making people want to pinch them. Xie Yishou's eyes softened, and he rubbed his fingers without a trace, trying to rub away the itch. Not with the general knowledge of this ice sculpture. Ming Yu has done a good job in mental construction and wants to convince people with reason. He put on a decent smile. General Xie is quick to talk. But you also know that this prince has just settled down and has no money to spare. Why don't you make a concession? Xie Yishou looked at Ming Yu, just when Ming Yu thought he was. When he was really impressed, Xie Yishou said, Otherwise, can I exchange it with Commander Mo? Hiss tilde. Ming Yu felt that his cheeks hurt. This master who doesn't eat hard and soft is really not good at strategy. Mo Zhang is his right-hand man. How could he exchange it? This man was obviously the one who was still beating him. How could he succeed? Ming Yu sneered and opened the topic. Since General Xie wants a good horse, I have a channel here. How about we talk about a long-term cooperation? Xie Yishou was taken aback. So, does he really have a way? Thinking that 3 days ago, Ming Yu promised 5 good horses as soon as he opened his mouth, which had to make people think twice. What kind of long-term cooperation? Xie Yishou asked unequivocally. Ming Yu didn't plan to hide it either. He set up a caravan and sent the caravan to bring back the good horse. At the end, he said, "How is it? Are you interested? If the trip goes well, you can bring back dozens of good horses. How about you divide 10 horses? Conditions?" Ming Yu's eyes rolled. "Go to the western regions. The caravan still needs escorts. General Xie only needs to send a few 100 men and horses to escort them." Seeing Xie Yisho thinking about the feasibility of what he said, he hit the railway while it was hot. "What do you think I am training these soldiers in this training camp? No? Is it possible to escort the caravan in the future? It is a pity that the people here have not been trained yet, otherwise there is no need to find another help. If you wait another year and a half, and no one else is needed, only the escorts of this prince will have to be used." Xie Yisho narrowed his eyes slightly. "Too few." Ming Yu was stunned for a moment before he realized that he said that there were too few horses for him, so he shook his head resolutely and said, "Too many won't work. I will rely on it all for building a horse farm in the future." "Where are these horses? Race farm?" Xie Yisho didn't know how many strange ideas he had. Ming Yu missed his mouth, and it didn't matter. He waved his hand and said, "This is just a plan for the future. I haven't said anything yet, and I have to stutter the rice. This first step has not yet been taken." After a pause, he made progress by retreating. "It's up to you if you don't want to. This prince will spend at most half a year in the evening. And it's not too late to start planning when these people can be on their own. At that time, I heard that the prince is very generous with the expenses of the soldiers in the training ground. And the fortifications that are being carried out in various villages will cost a lot of money, right? I wonder how long the wealth brought by the prince will last." Xie Yisho hit the nail on the head, straight into Ming Yu's heart. Angina pectoris was about to be cured by this person. Damn it! This evildoer. The lion opened his mouth. Why didn't he just die? Xie Yisho is not in a hurry, but his fingers can't help rubbing faster and faster. Ming Yu with fried hair really makes people want to knead. Ming Yu calmed down a little, and finally said reluctantly, "Add 5 more horses, no more." "Well, in the face of Prince Duan, there are 200 horses. If you really want to see it on my face, you won't tell me the conditions." Ming Yu scoffs at his remarks. 200 people are too few. Ming Yu frowned and said dissatisfiedly, "How could there be such a good thing in the world if he took so many benefits but didn't do his best?" "Enough." Xie Yisho looked at the soldiers who changed their formations on the field and said firmly, "The opportunity is rare. Doesn't the Lord want them to experience the experience? The effect of the field is good. Isn't this a good opportunity?" Ming Yu rubbed his chin and began to consider the feasibility of this matter. "Now that he has flickered to the guards of the Red Robe Army, I believe that with the reputation of the Red Robe Army in the frontier, the thieves and bandits will not be able to hide in time when they see the Red Robe Army, so they will definitely not dare to make up their mind. Even if there are people who are not afraid of death, as long as they dare to come, will they be able to return alive?" So, he asked the guard camp to follow him, and it was indeed a good choice. Seeing him thinking, Xie Yisho didn't bother, and concentrated on watching the drill on the field. The soldiers were in groups of 2, and with the command of the general, they either changed to groups of 4 or 6, and each group worked together. There are those who attack from a long distance with guns, those who use knives to slash enemies at close range, and those who hold shields to protect the weakest part of their teammates. A group can attack and retreat and defend. Later, 2 groups, 3 groups, or 4 groups can be combined into a whole, such as sharp blades, such as turtle shells, which can make the enemy hard to guard against, but difficult to break through. Xie Yisho was also thinking in his heart, what would happen if he encountered such an enemy? If your army is not cavalry, I am afraid that the outcome will be unpredictable. It has to be said that people who can come up with such a formation against the enemy are extremely talented. Xie Yishou raised his brows lightly, and his eyes swept aside to Mo Zhang. Is this really the work of Commander Mo? But if it is the power of Commander Mo, why is such a talent not revealed in the capital? Today's emperor is not incompetent and blind, and it is impossible to suppress talented people. If in the capital, such a skill was recognized by the emperor, and high official position of the military office would not be a problem at all. How could he be unknown and follow Prince Duan to the borderland instead? Xie Yishou didn't understand the joints, or he should investigate secretly. Just thinking about whether there are some or not, Ming Yu on the side said, yes. Then you send 200 people to escort the caravan, and after the completion of the event, thank you with 15 horses. He had already figured it out and borrowed the Red Robe Army. As long as there is a splendid name of the Red Robe Army, what happened to his blood? There is another condition. In the future, the prince will really build a horse farm. I hope our Red Robe Army will have the right to buy first. Xie Yishou said calmly. Ming Yu had to endure the distress of losing 15 good horses. But the second condition proposed by Xie Yishou was not bad. Anyway, who would you sell it to? Snort. When you want my horse and ask me to come to me, see if I don't slaughter your blood and scum. Thinking that he might be able to kill him in the future, he became happy again. And while agreeing, he stretched out his right hand to Xie Yishou, indicating that the deal was negotiated, and shook hands. Xie Yishou looked at Ming Yu's white and round hand, slightly stunned, and did not move for a while. Ming Yu just remembered that this place is no longer in the future. Where would there be a handshake? It was Xie Yishou who made Ming Yu feel like he had a chance to meet his opponent. When he was enjoying himself, he didn't pay attention for a while, and used the etiquette of later generations. When Ming Yu was a little embarrassed, and was about to withdraw his hand, but suddenly his hand tightened. Xie Yishou lightly grabbed Ming Yu's hand as if he had been taught without a teacher. Quote exclamation mark question mark quote. Ming Yu was stunned, but Xie Yishou had already withdrawn his hand in a split second, then sat up straight and stopped looking at Ming Yu. Xie Yishou's hands were clenched into fists. Although his face was still expressionless, his heart was already a mess. Ming Yu's fleshy hand was swaying in front of him. He couldn't help but wanted to pinch it, as you can imagine. He just grabbed it like a ghost. As a general, he has a lot of self-control. However, in front of Ming Yu, he couldn't control himself, which made him a little overwhelmed. And the temperature of the palm of his hand was still hot, which made him flustered. This is not right. Xie Yishou has experienced countless battles, but nothing like this has ever happened. For a while, he couldn't find the reason, so he had to temporarily suppress the matter and talk about it later. How did Ming Yu know Xie Yishou's thoughts? But he found that the breath around him seemed to be a little colder, and even the temperature around him dropped a few degrees. But since Xie Yishou didn't speak anymore, he would just assume that he had agreed and the caravan guards had been implemented. Ming Yu was relieved a bit. When the time comes, he will send 200 guards from the camp. Ming Yu was in a good mood. And it was like a spring breeze. He and Xie Yishou formed a stark contrast, but the two people sitting together looked exceptionally harmonious. Ming Yu then brought up another question about the general confrontation drill. Xie Yishou didn't look right now, and he didn't have the heart to discuss it with Ming Yu. He had already learned something about the battle drill from Ming Yu's mouth last time, and there was no harm in it anyway. Thinking that he would have the opportunity to get in touch with him to inquire about the news, he simply agreed. Ming Yu originally thought that he would spend more words. But he did not expect that he would agree so easily. He didn't even bargain, which made Ming Yu a little uncomfortable, but this way, it saved him a lot of effort. Since it's settled, this prince will draw up a training plan. You can take a look at it first. If there is no problem, then arrange the time as soon as possible. When the time comes, I will wait for the soldiers of the Red Robe Army to come and teach our team. Ming Yu was happily said. Okay, Xie Yishou was absent-minded and couldn't stay here any longer. So he simply agreed and got up to leave. It's getting late, the minister will retire first. Ming Yu achieved what he wanted, nodded happily, and didn't mean to keep anyone. He also had some things to discuss with Mo Zhang. Xie Yishou walked to the side of the court, and couldn't help but look back. Seeing Ming Yu and Mo Zhang smiling at each other, they were very close. And they were inexplicably annoying. I don't understand the reason for this emotion, but it can only be attributed to the fact that he was influenced by Master Wen's naughty demeanor. And it is really not suitable to travel today. Ming Yu didn't know what Xie Yishou was thinking, and when Xie Yishou left, he talked to Mo Zhang.